Hello guys, it's Gina from AK Portugal here and welcome to another episode of Portugal Farm Life.
It's boiling. It's 41 degrees today. And look what's happened to our front lawn. We have no grass anymore. We've just literally got a whole bunch of sand. We are about to head into Castelo Branco. We're going to go to one of my favorite restaurants there. They've got a new thing on the menu that I want to go and try out. But before we do that, I wanted to show you what our fields are looking like at the moment. So as you can see, all of our fields are basically disked back to soil. So we had to get rid of all of the grass. Unfortunately, this is a necessary evil at this time of year. There's lots and lots of fires, especially this year that it's been so dry and we have this big heat wave. And so we really can't afford to leave anything lying around the farm that could be a fire risk. So it's very unattractive, yes, but it's a lot safer. At the moment, there's been some really crazy fires, like all over the place. And we've just got these insane temperatures, 41 degrees today. According to Google, the hottest temperature ever recorded in Castelo Branco was, I believe, 40.6. So we're really smashing records. Over the last couple of weeks, you've seen how this big field over here has been basically prepared, where he's used something called like a disc harrow, and he's basically gone through the field here, he's churned up and cut up all of the weeds and grasses and things like that. And then he came and he planted some corn with a special seed planting machine. And now we're starting to get the corn emerging from the ground. Look at this. Now this is during a heat wave with no water, and we've got all of this little green corn shoots just popping up, and they're starting to appear. And soon they're going to cover this entire field. Pretty amazing. So I'm going to keep you guys updated on the growth of the corn. For now, it's way too hot for me to be outside in the field. So we're going to go and we're going to have some lunch. This is the south-facing side of our house, and we've got this beautiful trellis with all these vines and things growing over. And look, we've got tons of grapes and stuff growing. And then we've got Gina's, what she calls her lady garden. And yes, we do know that it's a euphemism. We do get quite a few comments from people saying like, don't you realize what lady garden means? We are very much aware, thank you very much. But yeah, so this keeps the house a little bit shaded. And so we don't have the sun beating down on the walls the whole day long, for the most part. And we also have this little outdoor shower. And as you saw earlier on, this is just the perfect place in the summertime to have a nice cold shower outdoors, or a hot shower, because we do have solar heated water. And all of the water from that goes back into the ground. So if you're new to the channel, we live in Central Portugal. We live between two cities. One of them is called Fundão, and the other one's called Castelo Branco. And right now we're going to be going into Castelo Branco. There's a restaurant there that has something new on the menu, and I've got to go and check it out. And we are in Castelo Branco. As you can see, it's like really sort of, I don't know, it's almost like cloudy. It's not really good air quality today, but it's like really hot, so that could explain it. So, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I love beer and I love steak. And this restaurant that we're going to does both, and really well. So we are at AkaSushi. Now this is in Castelo Branco, and you've probably seen in my vlogs before that I've eaten here. I love this place. They do some amazing steaks. I'm here with Orlando. He is one of the owners of this place. And yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you. Cool. Hope you're doing well, and look, you're more than welcome to come to the restaurant and have some sushi, some steaks, and our beer, which is very good.
Yes, well actually that's one of the things that I want to try now. He's got a special beer that he's had brewed just for this restaurant.
Yeah, just for this restaurant. It name's Aka beer, okay, and you have to taste it.
I'm going to taste some of it now. Ooh, it's nice. It's like really fruity. There's like loads of flavor, and it's quite creamy. It is very good. I think that's going to go really well, especially with the steaks. So they have a new menu here, and this tells you like the story of their restaurant. Now I'm actually going to come and tell you the entire story that actually starts on their farm at some stage. But for now, you can come to the restaurant and you can read all about it here in their menu. And then they've got their starters and soups and tamakis and things like that. And then over here we have the sushi menu and noodles and things like that. And over here we have the meat menu, and they've got some premium cuts of Wagyu beef. So we've got the tomahawks, T-bones, ribeyes, royal T-bones, amazing cuts and amazing quality Wagyu beef. Now, being Portugal Farm Life, we obviously like to have content that has something to do with farming. And this restaurant, all of the beef comes from their farm. So Orlando has a farm in Alentejo. It's about 160 hectares. And he has like a herd of these Wagyu or red Wagyu cattle. And that's what basically comes into this restaurant, and that's what they get their meat from. So we're going to be telling the story at some stage. We're going to go down to his farm and we're going to film all of that, and I can't wait to check it out. But for now, we're going to try some of the food. So dinner is served. We have a couple of hamburgers, and we also have some kind of mayonnaise ketchup. And yeah, looks tasty. So what do you think, Gina?
I think it's lovely. It is actually, because I'm a big kid, from the kiddies menu, but it's just hit the spot perfectly for a lunchtime menu.
Well, it's always a good meal whenever I go there. I'm really looking forward to telling you guys a story about AkaSushi. You know, it's kind of weird if you think about it. It's like sushi and steak. But the reason why they go together like this is because the cattle are from Japan. So they're Japanese Wagyu beef cattle. And it's a very special type of beef. These guys get fed beer, they get massaged, they're really well looked after, and there's a very high fat content in the meat, which gives it all of its flavor. So I'm going to be going to their farm, not in this week's episode, but in a couple of weeks. We're going to be visiting their farm, we're going to be having a look at their cattle, and we're going to follow the entire story from farm to the restaurant to the plate. And it should be pretty cool. So make sure you tune in for that episode.
Bless you. So this time of year we have to take extra special care of Masak. He's getting quite old now, he's 12 years old. When he was much smaller, so I think he was 2 or 3, he was diagnosed with hip dysplasias in both of his hips and associated arthritis in his feet. The x-rays were actually so bad that when you looked at the x-rays, he didn't have a ball and socket joint like he should do in his hips. It was just completely degraded and it was just rubbing against each other. So for most of his life, we've had to maintain his health, particularly with his hips, and he used to go swimming a lot when we lived in England. He actually went to hydrotherapy twice a month for many, many years. But recently, because obviously he's getting older and you know that he's been taking monthly injections to help with his pain, but we obviously have Eddie and Mimosa who are much younger and he wants to keep up with them and pretend he's a puppy. He's been running around with Eddie particularly, and about 2 weeks ago he really hurt his back leg as he was running around with them. So we've been to the vet and he's had extra painkillers and anti-inflammatories, but unfortunately it's not getting any better for him and he's still limping quite badly. So we've spoken to the vet again and he's going to have to go back in for an x-ray just to check what's happening. But like I said right at the beginning, he's 12 years old, so we need to be aware of what is preventative and what is just keeping him around for us. Obviously at the minute he's feeling super sorry for himself. As you can tell, his ears are very clamped because it's so hot. I mean, today's 41 degrees. He's got a big hairy coat, although it's double coated, so you shouldn't shave a double coated dog because that's obviously how they keep themselves insulated. We take him down for the dam, our little dam, so he has a swim a couple of times a day, but he's still super sad with himself, so fingers crossed that we can keep him happy and pain-free. And we just need to wait next week to see what the x-rays show.
So poor old DogDog, he's really been in the wars, but I know something that's going to make him feel a lot better. DogDog, do you want to go swimming? Do you want to go swimming? Shall we go swimming? Let's go. He didn't seem all that excited. I didn't seem as excited as I thought he was going to. Oh, look, the other dogs all know about it. All right, keep that heat out. Let's do it, doggies. Let's go. Let's go swimming. So Gina said earlier that it's 41 today. It's actually going up to 42, according to the Met Office app. So yeah, absolutely boiling. Anyway, let's get these dogs in the water, and we've got a little bit more work to do. And then after that, let's get in the pool. Good boy. Get in that nice cold water. There we go. Oh, that looks much better. We're super lucky to have this big old watering hole on our farm. The dogs actually take themselves down here, all on their own usually, and they come back to the house like soaking wet, which is why sometimes we have to roll up the carpet in the lounge just you know, on days that we know that they're going to do that. But yeah, it's a pretty cool space to come. The water's nice and cold, and the doggies love it. Yeah, there's a little bit of a climb to get down here. And at this sort of ridge line over here, this is the high water mark from winter. So this is as high as the water comes up. And then if you look down this way, it kind of goes all the way down, and that's where the water is now. So we're in extreme drought at the moment, and so the water is quite low. But it carries on at this crazy steep angle. It just carries on going. So in like the middle there, it's still probably about 4 meters deep or something. I've been trying to figure out ways that I can make it more comfortable down here, because obviously there's this big steep angle, and at some point I try to like flatten out a section, and that didn't really work. It's quite difficult to flatten it out so you can put chairs, because otherwise you're always standing at an angle. So I came up with a better idea actually. I'm thinking of getting some kind of a floating pontoon, or building some kind of a floating pontoon, and then we can put chairs and stuff on it, and we can also use like a pole, almost like they do in Venice, and you can sort of push yourself around, and you can have like a floating platform. And I think that'll be a really awesome way of enjoying this section, being able to sit and relax and not have to worry about this whole steep angle over here and how you're going to manage to sit flat on it. There's an amazing little ecosystem going on in this pond. We've got frogs, we've got fish. I think we've even got some kind of like little crustaceans living in here. I mean, you can hear the frogs in the background hopefully. And yeah, we put a whole bunch of goldfish in here. I'm not sure if there's any native species in here. I did try fishing in here once before we put in the goldfish, and I couldn't find anything. But in our sort of well that's on this side, on our front field, we've got big fish in there. So I'd be surprised if there weren't some fish in here.
We've also got lots of birds that come and visit the pond, dam, whatever we call it, because we don't know what we call it yet. And we have a kingfisher that comes in, and if you sit here quietly, you can see it coming in through here, pops down, takes a little bit of lunch in the form of a goldfish, and then flies back out again. But it's such a beautiful thing to watch.
So now that the dogs have cooled off, it's time for us to get our spare room ready for a guest. We have my sister coming here all the way from the States. She's coming for 2 weeks, and we're going to basically turn our spare room into a nice little place for her to have a little nest and relax and chill. After going in the dam, there's like so much sand and mud that you have to like wash your shoes down and your flip-flops down and your feet down and make sure that everything's clean. I don't think it's dirty, it's just
Sandy.
It's farmy. This is what happens on a farm, you know. It's farm stuff. Farm life.
So even though it's boiling hot outside, we'll come into our dumping ground. Sorry, spare room. This really is our spare room, but it has everything that doesn't fit in the house. It's also my office during the week. For 2.5 days of the week, I work on my laptop in here. But Ken's sister's coming to see us in about 48 hours, so we need to tidy up the room and get it ready as a lovely guest room, which which means I need to find somewhere else to park my laptop.
This is our outdoor thermometer. Now we have this in a shaded spot. It never gets any direct sunlight. It's away from anywhere where the sun's going to affect it. And it's kind of saying that it's about 42.5, maybe 43 degrees, which is pretty phenomenal. When I looked earlier, the weather forecast had 42 degrees. I mean, that's already, 1.5 degrees hotter than the highest record temperature that ever happened in Castelo Branco. So this is a record-breaking day. This is our farmhouse. And as you can see, the sun is hitting some areas of the wall. We've got some protection here by this, by all these vines. But on this side of the house, we've got some sun hitting straight onto the wall, heating up the wall. And the house is built from a single skin layer of tijolo bricks. So there's no insulation in there or anything like that. Once those bricks heat up, it transfers straight into the house and it can get really uncomfortable. So in the summer, during the day, we keep the blinds down on the side where the sun is shining. We've got the front door closed. The front door is insulated, but obviously without an insulated walls or anything, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. And then inside the house, let's have a look and see what the temperature is. We've got a thermometer on the wall here. So this is our living room, and the sun has been hitting on the wall there, so we've got 35 degrees indoors, which is obviously really uncomfortable. Now I think it's going to be a little bit cooler in the rest of the house. What we do is we keep the doors shut, so like this main door that goes down the passage to the bathroom and the bedrooms. This has been shut, and I think this is going to be a lot cooler. And there you go, it's 32.5 degrees. Sorry, it's just gone up, 32.7 degrees now, and that's inside the bedrooms. It's 4 p.m, so we're midday, 42, almost 43 degrees outside. So I would say that that's pretty successful. It's over 10 degrees cooler. And that's not too bad for a house that doesn't have any insulation. I think what probably also helps is we've got this sort of passageway. This is the wall that the sun's shining directly onto. And then we obviously have that trellis. So this kind of takes a little bit of the heat away from the bedrooms. And makes it a lot more bearable. This is Bob the camper van. This is the motorhome that we took all the way from the UK. We brought our pets and we brought the majority of our stuff. And we moved to Portugal. He's in a little bit of a mess at the moment, as you can see. But this would normally be the space that Gina uses as her office. She sets up the computer monitor up there, she puts her laptop down here, she's got nice views and everything. But obviously on days like today, it is super hot in here. So Bob the camper van is reading 40.3 degrees now. Yeah, super, super hot. He's only 2 degrees cooler than the outside. So there's absolutely no way that Gina is going to be able to work in 40 degrees. We're going to have to find another solution.
I was speaking to my friend Kato about not wanting to work in Bob in 40 degrees heat, and she suggested looking on this website. It's in Fundale and it's a co-working space, and you can rent a desk for as little as €1 a day, and apparently it's got air conditioning, which is going to be fantastic. But of course it's got Wi-Fi and printing facilities and really nice desks from the look of the photos.
So now that Gina's working space is all sorted, we've decided that we're not going to continue doing Livy's room today. I'm really sorry, Livy, but it's far too hot. We're going to go and sit in the pool for a bit.
We'll get up early tomorrow and finish it off.
We will.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what we hope we will do. No, don't worry. We will definitely get it sorted, Livs. You'll see, and I'm sure you'll love it. Wow, look how hot the pool is, man. What's that, 22, 24? It's 26 degrees. 26 degrees. So far this year, 23 was the hottest we had. This is 3 degrees hotter. So this is exactly where I want to spend the rest of the day. It's far too hot to do anything else. I think I'm going to swap this out and get something like an ice cold beer, and it's the best time of year. This is the time of year where all the farms not shut down, but there's nothing happening. You can't work in the fields with any heavy equipment or machinery because of sparks and things like that, which can be dangerous for fires. And so during the day it's really peaceful and quiet out here. There's absolutely nothing going on. It gives us a chance to unwind and relax. My sister's going to be here next week, and we are going to be very busy then. We're going to be showing her the sights and sounds, smells and tastes of Portugal. We're going to take cow cameras with us, and we're going to take you along with us so that you can see it. And don't forget to follow us on Patreon.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Smash those buttons. Next week's going to be a cool episode. Olivia's going to be here. Do you know that I have this problem where I keep calling Gina Olivia and Olivia Gina, and this is going to happen a lot next week. Tune in, same time, same place, for the next episode of Portugal Farm Life.
Pool life.
Portugal Pool Life. Yeah. Portugal Summer Life. Ciao everyone.
Bye.